Hey Falcons fans, head coach Kevin Stefanski here. I'm beyond thrilled to be leading this iconic franchise. We're going to get to work immediately. I cannot wait to see you at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Rise up.
But they had some receipts on Kevin Stefanski, and they damn sure for to make his time in Atlanta a very, very tough one, because he cannot escape what he has done to Shedeur Sanders. I ain't lying.
Career in this business, it's sometimes you have to navigate tough times, and I certainly have seen my tough times, and I feel like I'm a better coach on the other side of that.
Are you surprised Mayfield's comments about you coming to Atlanta and looking forward to seeing you twice?
Kevin Stefanski thought he could escape the chaos when he left Cleveland behind. Dead wrong. Breaking developments are shaking up the football world right now. The Shedeur effect just landed in Atlanta, and it's sending shockwaves through the Falcons organization. Drake London has reportedly shut down all contract extension talks completely. Sources close to the situation reveal that after Todd Monken's explosive accusations about Stefanski sabotaging Shedeur, London's team is genuinely spooked. They're asking themselves a terrifying question. If he could destroy his own franchise quarterback, what's stopping him from coming after me next? Then there's Bijan Robinson. I managed to grab the screenshot before Bijan tried to scrub it from existence. He liked a post from Deion Sanders that absolutely torched Stefanski's character. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell immediately. You need to see these receipts before they vanish forever. Tap that button right now.
For a lot of fans that were concerned about the way things ended for you in Cleveland.
I would tell you, I've learned from all of my seasons in this football, in this game of football. The fans in this...
Man, that was Kevin Stefanski, yo.
Let's walk through exactly how this unfolded. This is the incredible story of how Kevin Stefanski managed to poison an entire locker room before even coaching his first game. I've reached my breaking point with this situation. Kevin Stefanski keeps pretending we're all blind to what's happening right in front of us. We all witnessed your systematic destruction of Shedeur Sanders. This man secured his dream job with the Atlanta Falcons, but he's still getting roasted for the way he completely sabotaged Shedeur Sanders. That interview was an absolute disaster. He started sweating bullets and went into full panic mode, spewing nothing but garbage and outright lies.
Running a team that has 8 straight losing seasons and a franchise that is hungry for playoffs and the Super Bowl. So what makes you believe that you're the right guy for the job and can not only do that, but do it very quickly?
Thanks, Allison. I'm here because I believe in this group. I believe in this roster. I believe, like I mentioned, in what Arthur and Matt have put together already.
Imagine walking into your dream position, the role you've spent your entire career working toward, only to find out your new boss has a reputation for systematically destroying talents exactly like you. What's happening inside the Atlanta Falcons facility right now is impossible to ignore. The tension is so thick you could practically cut through it with a knife. For an entire year, the football world watched a complete disaster unfold in Cleveland. Kevin Stefanski seemed determined to crush one of the most electrifying young quarterbacks we've witnessed in recent memory. Stefanski probably figured he could just pack his bags, relocate to Georgia, and pretend none of that nightmare ever happened. Reality is hitting him like a freight train right now. This man is drowning in controversy again, completely exposed in another massive lie. He's getting absolutely destroyed across every platform. This situation is absolutely insane. We need to break down every single detail, because what's happening is beyond belief. Let's examine how Kevin Stefanski got caught red-handed lying about his sabotage of Shedeur Sanders once again. Then he had the audacity to defend starting Dillon Gabriel, who couldn't see over a stack of pancakes, instead of Shedeur Sanders, which has become the most embarrassing meme in football. The league has a long memory for this kind of betrayal. The quiet whispers have turned into public accusations, and the rumors about a mass exodus from Atlanta are starting to look very real. Fans can debate sabotage theories on Twitter all day long. When actual players inside the building start looking for escape routes, that's when you know it's serious business. Word is spreading that the Falcons' talented roster isn't exactly rolling out the red carpet for their new head coach. We're talking about players like Kyle Pitts, an absolute freak of nature who's already endured more coaching turnover and instability than most players see in their entire careers. The rumors are starting to gain serious momentum. So what's your honest opinion on this whole mess? When I shared the news about our new head coach Stefanski on my platforms, there was definitely some excitement initially. But to be completely honest, there's a massive cloud of uncertainty hanging over this hiring decision. The energy in the building ranges somewhere between completely flat and absolutely poisonous. Why is this happening? These professional athletes aren't stupid. They watched the entire Shedeur Sanders situation play out in real time. They saw a coach take a quarterback who was slinging the ball for 300 yards and engineering clutch comeback drives then treat him like he didn't deserve to be on the same field. Now these same players are wrestling with a haunting realization: if this guy was willing to do that to Shedeur, what's going to stop him from targeting me? To understand why the Falcons are heading toward a complete organizational meltdown, we have to examine the systematic sabotage playbook that destroyed Cleveland. This wasn't just one bad decision or some disagreement about offensive philosophy. I really need to hear his explanation for the Shedeur controversy and the Dillon Gabriel situation. There's widespread belief that he had it out for Shedeur from day one and deliberately manipulated the entire quarterback competition. This was a calculated week-by-week demolition of a rookie's confidence and development. Think about this scenario. You're a quarterback with Pro Bowl potential and your head coach actively prevents you from taking first-team reps in practice. Absolutely mind-blowing, right? Meanwhile, the guy next to you, someone like Dillon Gabriel, who honestly looks like he'd struggle to reach the top shelf at a grocery store, gets the starting nod simply because he supposedly fits the offensive system better. It became the biggest running joke throughout professional football circles. For Shedeur, it represented nothing less than career sabotage in real time. The whole circus became so ridiculous that the story exploded from team facilities straight into major media outlets like the New York Post and landed on primetime segments across ABC and NBC. This had evolved far beyond sports. This became a masterclass in how an ego-driven coach can completely torpedo a franchise's future just to prove some twisted point. The most unbelievable part of this entire saga is that Stefanski actually thought he could get away with it cleanly. During a recent interview, he got absolutely grilled, and I'm talking seriously grilled, about his treatment of Shedeur Sanders and the lasting damage he caused to the NFL landscape. Throughout that entire season, when everything was exploding, everyone could see exactly what was happening. You couldn't flip on any sports channel without seeing Kevin Stefanski throw Shedeur under the bus repeatedly. The coverage was everywhere, from the New York Post to ABC News, NBC Sports, ESPN, and every social media platform imaginable. Not everyone understood the full picture, but people were definitely calling out the absolute nonsense Kevin Stefanski was pulling against Shedeur Sanders. Usually these coaches are masters of saying absolutely nothing while using hundreds of words to do it. This situation was completely different. Stefanski looked like he was having a complete system malfunction. Multiple reports described him as nearly unhinged, stumbling through his responses, desperately trying to justify something that made zero sense. You could literally watch the exact moment when reality crashed down on him. The sabotage accusations weren't just some wild conspiracy theories floating around on social media anymore. This became his permanent brand. He's no longer the innovative offensive coordinator or the coach who won those awards. To players and fans across the league, he's simply the guy who tried to destroy primetime's sun. In today's NFL, where player influence grows stronger every single season, that kind of reputation is absolutely toxic. Don't think for one second that players around the league aren't paying attention. Remember Garrett Nussmeier, who stepped up as the starting quarterback after just 1 week of college football action. That quarterback showed serious potential. We're talking about the son of a coach with incredible natural ability. Last season was all about dealing with injuries and navigating a completely chaotic situation at LSU. This conversation isn't happening behind closed doors anymore. The NFL operates like a much smaller community than most people realize. These players stay connected through group chats constantly. They train together during the offseason, sharing inside information that never makes it to mainstream sports media. David Njoku keeps getting mentioned in connection with this Atlanta controversy. Njoku was right there in the middle of everything that went down in Cleveland. He experienced the dysfunction firsthand. He saw exactly how Shedeur was treated and managed by the coaching staff. With reports of his potential trade request, everything is starting to make perfect sense. When a respected veteran from the Cleveland locker room is warning his connections in Atlanta, Stefanski was doomed before he even started. It's like a virus that's already infected the Falcons' season before they've played a single snap. This brings us to an even darker element of this story: the role of Cleveland's media environment. Throughout that entire year, local reporters like Mary Kay Cabot were essentially functioning as Stefanski's unofficial public relations department. Whenever Shedeur made an incredible play or showed his elite potential, the narrative immediately shifted to his need for more seasoning or how he wasn't following the game plan correctly. They tried to paint Shedeur as a difficult, uncoachable rookie to justify Stefanski's completely baffling depth chart decisions. The truth is that Shedeur was probably the only reason that franchise stayed remotely relevant. He was moving merchandise. He was drawing television ratings. Listen to this. There's definitely a narrative being pushed by Cleveland's media machine right now. They're setting up this whole quarterback battle between Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, and whoever else ends up under center for them. There's speculation about Russell Wilson, Malik Willis, and even some random guy named Mendoza potentially joining Cleveland. It's absolutely wild watching them act like they don't have a quarterback with elite potential who just needs proper development to lead this team to the playoffs. He was out there creating magic that you simply can't draw up in any playbook. The media tried to gaslight the fan base, but you can't fool a locker room full of professional athletes who can clearly see elite talent when it's standing right in front of them. The psychological damage from operating in that kind of toxic environment is absolutely devastating. We're talking about a rookie quarterback carrying enormous expectations, dealing with a coaching staff that seemed actively invested in his failure, probably so they could retreat back to their safe veteran options. Reports have emerged about instances where Shedeur would make an incredible read or demonstrate exceptional football intelligence, but these moments got completely ignored during film study sessions. Meanwhile, if a quarterback like Drake May executed the exact same play, it would get celebrated like he just reinvented the position. That level of systematic bias creates wounds that can't be healed with a few motivational speeches in a new city. They understand that if they step out of line, they could become the next target for destruction. What we're witnessing right now is a beautiful, albeit messy, demonstration of how karma operates in our hyper-connected world. Stefanski jumped to the Atlanta opportunity expecting a clean restart, a chance to leave all that Cleveland baggage in the past, but he's discovering that his reputation follows him like a dark cloud he can't outrun. The systematic sabotage of Shedeur Sanders has become the defining moment of his entire coaching career. It's affecting player acquisition, it's poisoning team chemistry, and it's definitely going to show up in their record this season. When star players like Kyle Pitts are reportedly already checking out on a new coaching hire before training camp even begins, you're starting from a position of complete weakness. A team that doesn't trust its leadership simply cannot function at an elite level. Trust cannot be rebuilt when former players are going public with stories about how they were betrayed and misled. Let's spend some time talking about Shedeur, because his response to this entire situation has been absolutely perfect. He maintained his composure and refused to engage in petty drama. He didn't start any social media wars or public feuds. He stayed professional, kept grinding, and let his performance do all the talking for him. He's proving that he was built for longevity and success. Meanwhile, the coach who tried to tear him down is struggling to keep his new locker room from completely falling apart. The irony is incredible. In his efforts to derail Shedeur's career, Stefanski accidentally accelerated his own professional downfall. He transformed Shedeur into a symbol of player empowerment, while painting himself as the perfect villain in this story. In the NFL, the villain rarely gets to ride off into the sunset with a championship ring. The Falcons are facing a public relations nightmare that requires immediate intervention. They're trotting out former players and trying to spin this narrative that everything is perfectly fine within the organization. The lack of genuine enthusiasm is painfully obvious to everyone watching. Sources suggest they're desperately searching for anyone, literally anyone, who can provide a positive testimonial about Stefanski's character and coaching ability. Those endorsements are becoming increasingly impossible to find. When you have someone like Chase Daniel, a veteran quarterback who truly understands the complexities of the position, publicly criticizing the lack of support Shedeur received, you know the situation has reached a breaking point. The evidence speaks for itself, revealing a coach who valued being proven right over actually winning games with his most talented player. As we approach the 2025 season, the shockwaves from this controversy are going to ripple throughout the entire league. This has evolved beyond just one coach and one quarterback at this point. This represents a clear warning shot to every old-school coach who thinks they can bury generational talent without facing serious consequences. The spotlight is blazing, the players are watching every move, and Shedeur's legacy continues to grow stronger by the day. Meanwhile, Stefanski's reputation continues to crumble in real time. You have to wonder if the Browns organization is finally waking up to the catastrophic mistake of allowing this toxic situation to fester for an entire season. They had pure gold in Shedeur, but they let a saboteur run the mining operation until everything collapsed completely. So what's the bottom line here? We're looking at an Atlanta franchise that's already divided, a head coach getting grilled in every media appearance, and a young quarterback back in Cleveland who's ready to prove his worth without any artificial barriers blocking his path. The Atlanta experiment might be the beginning of a very long and painful season for Kevin Stefanski. He thought he was escaping the controversy, but he just transported all that negative energy to a brand new location. If these reports are accurate, that building is already starting to burn. The NFL is experiencing a fascinating period where the biggest storyline isn't happening between the lines, but inside the minds of players who feel completely betrayed by their leadership. The sabotage of Shedeur Sanders wasn't just some isolated incident that would blow over. It became a movement. The reality is that in our current era of instant social media and 24-hour news cycles, the truth always finds a way to surface. Everything comes to light eventually. Right now, Kevin Stefanski is under an incredibly intense microscope, and the pressure is absolutely crushing. Whether he can survive the heat down in Atlanta remains to be seen. One thing is crystal clear though, the league will never look at him the same way again. He wanted to be remembered as the coach who perfected a system, but instead he became the guy who exposed exactly what's broken about the system in the first place. At the end of the day, this entire saga comes down to one fundamental concept: respect. Respect the game, respect the talent, and respect the players who put their bodies on the line every single week. When that respect disappears, the entire locker room dynamic changes forever. When you lose the locker room, no amount of brilliant play designs in your playbook can save your career. It's completely over. Shedeur Sanders is moving forward with his reputation completely intact and a following that rivals most NFL franchises. Stefanski is pushing ahead too, but he's carrying this massive burden, and his current roster is already looking for the nearest exit. This is karma in action within the NFL landscape, and we're still in the early stages. As we monitor what happens in Atlanta, keep your eyes glued to the trade rumors. Pay attention to those anonymous quotes leaking from inside the organization, because the exodus is very real. The resentment runs deep, and this controversy will haunt Kevin Stefanski for the rest of his coaching journey. The only question left is how quickly things will completely implode in Atlanta. The real mystery is just how fast this house of cards will come crashing down. When everything settles, don't be surprised if Shedeur Sanders comes out on top, while the coach who tried to destroy him becomes just another forgotten name desperately searching for his next opportunity to fail. What's your take on all this? Does Stefanski deserve a clean slate in Atlanta, or is he simply facing the consequences of what he created back in Cleveland? How much longer can the Falcons ignore the fact that their star players have already mentally moved on? This conversation is just getting started. The Sanders family is definitely monitoring every single development because in this business, karma always comes full circle. The current situation brewing in Atlanta doesn't look promising at all. Hit that subscribe button and keep watching, because this NFL controversy is reaching a boiling point, and you absolutely cannot miss what happens next. We're here to expose every lie, every rumor, and every shocking decision as it develops. The era of sabotage might finally be coming to an end.